Anchors upsells it, fool. Welcome to the Sloopcast. How you doing today, Kyle?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing, Jared?
Doing good, doing good. New tradition, good tradition. Oh, that was a good one. That, I think, was a good one. All right. Okay, just vibe check. How'd you like the game?
It was a good weekend. It was a good weekend for the city of Columbus.
Okay. Sneak preview to Kyle's Corner, but that's like 40 minutes from now if we behave ourselves. Which we should try and behave ourselves. We've been slowly inflating as the season goes.
We need to rein
things back in.
So overall, I thought it was exactly kind of where I thought it was going to be. Minus the extra touchdown Penn State got. Unfortunate turnover, but it was honestly kind of where I thought it was going to be semi-close in the first half, like 14-17 to 7, something like that. They're kind of hanging out, and then all of a sudden, just like, no, hey, defense, Patricia just goes in and says, hey, defense, we're just going to make these changes here. We're going to stop what's making them successful, aka turning the ball over. And and we saw it, 21 straight points in the second half, and just absolute dominance. Dominance. There were some people asking me today on Sunday, why? Tell me how Ohio State really looked this good. Like, how did they end up winning by this much? And I said, honestly, it's a tale of two halves here. Penn State, 140 yards in the first half, averaging 4.4 yards per play. In the second half, merely 60 yards. Yeah, I know, 4 goals. Yes, 4 goals. Go Crew. And it is final. 60 yards. And Jared, 18 yards in the third quarter. 18 yards in the third quarter, 42 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That's the difference right there.
I mean,
they found some momentum in the second quarter. They had a nice long drive. Let me find the drive. They had a nice long drive, that 15 plays, 75 yards.
Yep.
That'll do it right there. They took almost 8 minutes off there. And then they had a short field, a couple of drives later to get 14 points. Then outside of that, and then minus the last drive, which is kind of like Sure, like there was a lot of other Ohio State players in there in that last drive. Like they had a total.
I think they had the starters in.
They were trading in and out. I mean, yeah, there was a good amount. There was a good amount of starters still in there, but tale of two halves. And you can really say, oh, they had like one good drive, and sure.
I don't even think it's fair to say two halves. I think Penn State had like 8 good minutes.
Sure. We'll give them 10 minutes. We'll give them 10 minutes with the second drive. So 10 minutes out of the 60.
Yeah, and Ohio State won the other 50 minutes.
Yep.
I mean, that's what it boils down to. And, Penn State, I think this is a game in which a shutout was possible. Penn State scores 14 points. Good job, Penn State. Because even if we say, oh, well, the second touchdown, they had a really short field. Okay, but the defense, created that. The defense created that turnover. That was a great play by everyone involved on the defense by Penn State.
Yeah.
This is a really talented defense.
Yes, very talented. I think a lot of people just look at Penn State. Oh, they had 4 losses, now 5 losses in a row now. Mm-hmm. They'll just look at the overall record. Like, this is a bad Penn State team. It's badly coached. Penn
Yeah.
State team.
Yeah.
This is still a very talented, especially more so on the defensive side. And
Yeah.
the season just got away for them, and have some players just kind of said, what else? I don't
There
know.
are players on that team who are going at it half-heartedly. That means there are some players who are not going at it half-heartedly. But I think on the defense especially, there are some really talented guys kind of going through the motions. But, you know, I tell you what, there are a lot of guys, like I said, who are not. I thought Katron Allen, considering what he was given opportunity-wise by the offense, had a really good game. I think he's an excellent running back.
Yeah.
I think he has an excellent future in the NFL.
Amari Campbell on the linebacker had a really good game too. I thought he played really well as well.
Yeah. So like I said, this is a team in which they aren't great coached. The season, as Kyle said, got away from them, and you know, it just kind of it's got to be hard to show up every day and do all the things you need to do 7 days a week when the season's gone the way it has.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Kyle. We said we need to stop inflating, and then we spent 6 minutes in the vibe check.
We allocated about seven to 10 minutes, just kind of our overview thoughts before we go to the report card. So we're on track.
Okay.
We're good. We're good.
All
so
right.
let's start offense.
We need split screens on the screen like we're speedrunners.
All right. Offense game plan. How are we going to grade them out? Game plan? A. Absolutely A. I really liked what I saw. Julian Sayin is just balling his butt off right now. Just
Sure.
Absolutely. And Ohio State started their campaign this Sunday here saying, all right, Heisman. Julian Sayin Heisman. They started their campaign for Julian Sayin now, and rightfully so. Like he is just playing lights out, and he's getting enough attention, but I don't think he's getting enough. If you catch kind of what I'm trying to say here, like he's thrown. I have to pull up the numbers where he stands offensively in terms of numbers. But
we'll get to the quarterbacks, Kyle. We're not in the quarterback section. We can get there. I'm gonna go A plan, A+, because I felt like they were. I'm happy that they're letting Julian sling it, and it's paying off.
Yeah,
This is an incredibly talent. We're talking about the offense right now, and this is an incredibly talented Penn State defense. Like that has to be said.
5 plays of 20+ yards in the air. Letting him sling it, like you said. In-game coaching.
Remember when there were people talking about how he didn't have a deep ball?
Yeah.
Earlier in the season.
Yeah. I got a lot to say about the quarterbacks here, but before that, in-game coaching, A+. I gotta give an A+. You saw the change, especially at halftime. You're like, you know what? No more screwing around. We're gonna shut them out, and shut out they did. And
we're talking offense.
Yeah, okay. Offensively, yeah. Let me look here. 142 yards in the first quarter, 79 in the second. Third quarter, 144 yards, just like they did in the first quarter. 115 yards in the second or the fourth quarter as well too. 8.2 yards. Is that what it was? Yeah, 8.2 yards per play in the fourth quarter. Wow.
Yeah, and when was the first punt? Was it the fourth quarter? Or maybe late in the third?
Let's see. It was the first play of the fourth quarter.
Okay. So, I mean, they failed to convert technically in the third quarter then.
Yeah.
Okay. But still, again, it has to be said, this is an incredibly talented Penn State defense, and Ohio State didn't take their foot off the pedal too early, like I have criticized them for doing in the past on offense.
Yeah,
they kept slinging it in the third quarter, which I was happy to see.
And that was weird. It was like 3rd and 4 or something like that. Yeah, it was like 3rd and 4, and then all of a sudden, like, they ran the ball. Like, it was really.
They started really weird. They started their 4th down or their 4th quarter offense a little soon on that one. Quarterbacks.
Sure. A+. I mean, if you can put pluses just going clear across the screen, let's go ahead and do that. 20 for 23. Yep, there you go. 20 for 23. And I wanted to make sure I have this down. He had 3 incompletions, more touchdowns than he did incompletions. 2 of those incompletions were throwaways. Got out of the pocket and threw them away. And one of them was off the fingertips of Brandon Ennis.
Which was a bad pass, to be clear.
Sure. Okay.
Did Ennis get his hands on it? Yes. I'm just saying, let's not just put that on Ennis.
Yeah.
No, I think I
wasn't saying it was on Julian Sayin. It was just on the finger, or I'm sorry, not on Ennis. It was off the fingertips. Yeah, it was Julian Sayin's only bad pass of the entire game, which is ridiculous.
Yes, that I'll agree with.
Yeah, and let's not even
well, there was one tip at the line of scrimmage.
It ended up for a touchdown.
Well, we might want to. And then maybe you give that one to Smith.
He could have had 5 touchdowns here. He could have had 5 touchdowns if the defender, which tight end was it? Didn't hold on to one of the tight ends. I'm drawing a blank on which one it is.
I think it was Claire.
That was perfectly thrown. Like,
that seam pass to Claire over the middle. Yeah, and it was a perfect penalty on Penn State's part too, because he was beat.
Well, I mean, ended up for going to a touchdown anyways to somebody else in that drive, but.
Okay, but you get the point.
I get you. I got you. All right, run block next.
Penn State has a very good defensive line. Let's say that.
Very good.
Let's
very good.
Let's grade on an appropriate curve here. Penn State has a very good defensive line. That being said, their run stop has not necessarily been a strength this year, so you would expect a decent amount from Ohio State.
3.5 yards per carry in the first quarter, just over 3 in the second quarter, just over 2 yards a carry in the third, and then about 9 yards per carry in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they helped themselves a lot in the.
Yeah, I'll give them an A-. I'll say an A-, being the defense that they went up against, knowing it's going to be tough to let in. And we even said like you need to attack their weakness. You don't want to run it down their throat, because I think it was, what was it, the very first play, I want to say, Jared, was went for, was it negative yard? No, I'm thinking of a different drive though. Either way, I could have sworn it was. Never mind. There was definitely quite a bit of negative plays in this one. How many did Penn State had? They had 4 plays. They had 4 tackle for losses. All of them were on run plays. I think they had quite a bit, especially on that first drive. Yeah, they had half of them, 2 of them, on that first drive there. So, got to still clean that up, but overall, pretty pleased with what I saw.
Yeah, you average over 5 a carry. Bo Jackson over 8 a carry. Of course, he broke a long one, which helps out with that a lot. That being said, he was the only individual running back over 5 per carry. Although Peoples got close, It was it was kind of garbage time, but he got close with 4.8. Yeah, I think an A- is appropriate.
Yeah. Julian Sayin had a very important run. I think it was on third down. What was it, like 3rd and 5? Made an excellent decision to tuck it and run. Like that was.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Before we go to pass block, let's go ahead and take our first ad break real quick, and then we will continue on with our grading here. thesloopcast.com is your link for anything and everything Sloopcast related. There you can find our Patreon page, patreon.thesloopcast.com, our Discord page, YouTube, merch, 7071, our playlist, and much, much more over at thesloopcast.com. We'll go ahead and take that ad break and be right back.
All right, Kyle. Pass blocking.
A+. A+. Zero sacks. Penn State has
he was moved out of the pocket against his will several times. To Julian Sayin's credit, he is very good at moving in the pocket. He knows when to leave the pocket. He knows how to leave the pocket. He knows when to step up into the pocket. But he did on several occasions have to avoid rushers by moving around in the pocket. I'm not going to give him an A. I'm not going to give him an A+.
I'll give him an A+. He did draw a roughing the passer penalty too. Yes.
He took a couple shots in this game.
For what defense, especially that defensive line that Ohio State had to go up against, I was very, very pleased from what I saw. Yes, was there a few plays that he had to move around and all that? Sure. But overall, I'm very pleased. I will give the pass block that plus behind the A.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a minus.
All right,
personally.
All right, running. I'll say an A. When they were able to get loose, and we saw that with Bo Jackson. I think Bo Jackson might be back, might be fully or nearly healthy there. He made some really nice cuts. I liked what I saw from Isaiah West at times. A lot of people are going to hark on C.J. Donaldson, especially with the fumble. He'll be fine. He's the type of running back that Ohio State needs in the short yardage time. But I think it's Bo and Isaiah's as the 1-2, and then CJ come in for the bruiser type of running back. But overall, I'll say an A.
I'm gonna go a B. Bo Jackson gets like an A, but the rest of the running back room gets like a C. So I'm gonna put it at a B.
All right.
I like Isaiah West. I think he has a bright future. He didn't run great this game. Is that on the offensive line and not him? Maybe. But again, Peoples had 4.8, which is good, but again, it was in junk time. Penn State was tired and over at that point. CJ Donaldson, costly fumble, only 2.4. Isaiah West, only 3.3. Not a great performance overall in the running back room, which again, I think the run blocking probably gets its fair set of criticism on as well. But also just Penn State is very talented in the front seven. Across the entire defense, really.
Sure. All right, receiving A+.
Yeah. Hold on.
No drop. No drops. Yep, there you go. No drops by these receivers.
We're just going to do that again. What else can be said about Jeremiah Smith and Cardinal Tate at this point?
They threw it to them, both of them, 11 targets, 11 catches, 247 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And both of them had 57-yard receptions each, which I thought was kind of funny. They both had a 57-yard.
And even like Brandon Innes averaged 10 yards a reception on 4 separate receptions. Bennett Christian gets a touchdown. Max Clare, as you pointed out, not a good day on the stat sheet for Max Clare, but as you pointed out, had a touchdown down the seam and forced a pass interference that got a first down. So, there's no room on the stat sheet for a play like that, but it happened.
Yeah.
Tate is so good on contested catches. Yeah, absolutely.
Drives and conversions.
Didn't punt till the fourth quarter.
Only
settled for a field goal once.
Yeah, I got to give an A. This was as near perfect as you can get here. 6 for 9, 67% in third down conversions against a pretty talented defense here. Yeah, I'll give a solid A here. Absolutely.
I'll go A+. Like, again, incredibly talented defense, maybe the best defensive coordinator in college football. And Ohio State made them look like Ohio. Ohio State made Penn State look like a MAC school.
All right, in explosiveness, I got to give an A for explosiveness as well. You want to guess how many
Hold on. Is it just an A?
How many explosive plays do you think Ohio State had? And when I say explosive plays, that's going to be 15 or more yards passing, and on the rushing, it would be 10 yards or more.
I don't care. Here's what I'll tell you. Ohio State's 2 wide receivers both averaged over 20 yards a reception. Ohio State's 2 top wide receivers both averaged over 20 yards per reception on 11 total catches between the 2 of them.
Is that pretty good, Jared?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Then you have Bo Jackson with a 50-yard run. When your top 2 wide receivers, and it's not just scaled because they had 1 or 2 catches, they had 11 total catches between the 2 of them, are averaging 20 yards a catch. That's explosiveness.
The answer is 10. The answer is 10 explosive plays. So yeah, go ahead and add the plus in front of mine.
Hold on. Can I do this again? Again, this is a really good Penn State pass defense. I'm doing this again.
And you threw for 316 yards. 316 yards. Where were they ranked?
Julian 316. Julian 316.
This is a defense, Jared, that we're averaging 153 yards per game, 5th best in the country, averaging 5.8 yards per pass, which is 10th in the country. And they averaged what again? 15.8?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to defense.
Let's move on to the defense.
Game plan? I'll give an A. I'll give an A. I knew that they're going to have to put Penn State into tough situations where they're going to have to pass the ball. And I mean, give credit to Grunkmeyer. He completed 68%. 1 interception, but he was completing passes when he needed to. But there were times that Ohio State had a hard time stopping Singleton, especially on the receiving side. There always seemed like they were able to get it to him on third downs or important plays to get a first down. And Allen had himself a pretty good, especially the first quarter, had himself a pretty good first half. And then Ohio State turned that around. So I'll say an A. I'll say an A overall for the game plan.
I'm going to say B+. I think they started kind of slow, but give me a second and I'll redeem that. Did you say A- or just A?
Just an A. I'll give an A.
And then, so let's move on to in-game coaching, but Spikes down in the chat brings up a really good point. The second half is an A++. First half was like a B-. I think you're being a little harsh with the B-, but second half, you're talking about in-game coaching at that point, which is why I am going to go A+ on the in-game coaching.
Yep, absolutely. Yes.
They turned it up a lot. Really, like, Penn State had a decent first drive. Then Ohio State shut them down. Then so adjustments were made. Then Penn State had an excellent 16 play drive. Then the turnover happens, and then they get another touchdown. So that whole sequence sucks. But outside of that sequence, Ohio State's defense was lights out.
Mm-hmm. They held sacks played an important role because they had all four sacks in the second half. But Penn State on the stats had negative 21 rushing yards in the second half.
Yeah.
Tackling. This is the first game, Jared, where tackling early on was an issue. Yes, understand. These are two of the most talented running backs that Ohio State will face all year.
Yeah.
Allen, exceptional. Singleton, very, very good. So understand, it's going to be tough tackling them in open space. Understand that. But this is the first time that we've seen there were some tackling issues.
You go up against Katron Allen, and there's going to be some tackling issues.
I was still saying A. Honestly, I was still taking A. There wasn't any
I'd say minus, but yeah,
there really wasn't any miss a tackle and then he's off for a touchdown, or you had them and then he ran off for a 20-yard gain or whatever. It was more of, you missed them. You should have had him in the backfield and he got 4 yards, 3 yards, something like that.
Right. All right. Run stop.
You held Allen to 3.6 yards per carry, and you held Singleton to 3 yards per carry.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good day in the office there.
Yeah, I think I said it in the Discord at some point today. It felt like Allen had more. It felt like Allen had a really good game. And I was surprised to see that he only had 3.6.
He's averaging, before this game, he was averaging 6.25 yards per carry, right, and pretty much almost half that.
Yeah.
So
I'm good with an A.
I'm good with an A. All right, pass rush. 4 sacks. Pretty good.
All in the second half. They were. Who got the sacks? Were they all on blitzes?
Let's see here. Let's see. Reese had one.
Jackson had 2.5 of them. That's not to say they weren't on blitzes.
He had 2 sacks. Yep, he had 2 sacks.
I'm sorry, that's TFLs. My bad.
Yep. Reese had 1. Jackson had 2, and Edric Houston had 1.
Yeah.
I was saying A as well. I was saying A.
I think A is fair. I will say, and not that this goes against this by any means, I would say most, or at least half of those were coverage sacks, which takes us to pass coverage. You have a quarterback in Ethan Grunkemeyer making his second ever start. He did, unlike his game against Iowa, he did have, a bye week to prepare. He was put in a really tough position in Iowa on just losing his coach and going from a backup to a starter. He was in a real tough position going into Iowa. With this game, he had the bye week to sort of settle in a little bit more. So we expected a better performance, and he did give a better performance than he did against Iowa. That being said, it's still, I never at any point feared their passing game. Like,
agreed. Yeah.
There may have been a series or two where he got a couple like good passes in. He sort of started to settle in a little bit at one point. But their wide receivers are who their wide receivers are.
Yeah. I felt like Ohio State was just kind of respecting Allen and Singleton and was just kind of waiting for Penn State to try something that's going to get them in trouble.
Yeah.
Everything kind of in front of them, wasn't trying to be too cute or anything like that.
Pass coverage, I'll do an A.
Yeah. Impact plays. Let's see. Penn State in terms of big plays. First play was Allen for 26 yards. And then the other...
Kyle, I know, these aren't named well. Impact plays are like sacks, interceptions, TFLs.
Okay.
If you look, they kind of line up with the offense, where like explosiveness is next to don't break and drives and conversions is next to stops. This is more like the defense making impact plays, not stopping impact plays.
All right, four sacks, one interception in the end zone, and a did force fumble, but didn't get that recovery though. So I'll say an A. I'll say an A. It would have been nice to get back to the roots of PSU, Pick Six University. Would love to have gotten back to that groove again, but 4 sacks and a turnover. That's a good day in the office.
Yeah. The TFL. I think Kenyatta Jackson had a good impact day. I thought Arvell Reese had a good impact day. The Caleb Downs interception's nice on the stat sheet, but it was a desperation throw on 4th down. It wasn't honestly that big of an impact play. It netted them a few yards because it was a touchback, and that was honestly about it. Reese blew up several screens too. Yeah, no, Reese had an impact day for sure. Impact plays, I think an A is fine. I feel like we're just handing out standard A's across the entire report card here, but I feel like it's also deserved.
Yeah.
Stops.
I think this one I think I will grade stops a little lower here. I'm trying to find my stats here. In the first half, Penn State were converting 63% of third downs, and then held them to 43% in the second half, with a total of just over 50%.
And more importantly, Penn State 2 touchdowns in the red zone.
Yeah,
you would like to have seen at least one of those turned into a field goal.
Yeah, I'm going to say B-. I'll say B- for stops.
Okay, I went B+.
Okay. And don't break plays.
I think they did a great job here. I think there was 1 run over 20 yards and 1 reception over 20 yards.
That's correct. So an A. Yeah, I'll stick with an A in there.
I agree.
All right, awesome. All right, we'll get to the overall. We will need to take our second ad break, and we will get back to the overall gradings here. Again, thesloopcast.com is your link for everything Sloopcast related. You can head on over to, if you want to help Jared and I financially, you can head on over to patreon.thesloopcast.com, become a patron, or a Sloopcat, as we call it over in our Discord. Or if you want to help us out and not go over to Patreon, you can head on over to merch.thesloopcast.com, where Jared has taken time to make some really, really cool designed shirts, sweatshirts, and other designs in there. I'm not wearing any right now. Jared's wearing one from the 70-71. which is a non-podcast related one, but Ohio themed. Really cool designs again by yours truly, Jared. And
I think you say yours truly if it's you.
Sure. By our very own Jared.
Okay.
How about that? There we go. All right. Again, all of those you can find over at thesloopcast.com. We'll go ahead and take that ad break and finish our ratings.
All right, Kyle. Overall team grades. Let's power through these.
In-game coaching, A.
Yeah. I'm gonna go plus. Is a really good job rallying after the fumble, to come out and just bury any notion of an upset right away in the third quarter. For that, I give them an A plus.
Sure.
Someone in the Discord, and I apologize because I don't remember who, but someone in the Discord said something along the lines of the second half felt like our playoff offense. And it kind of felt like, I don't know how to explain what that means other than that I agreed with them. It was like the actual offense came out to play in the third quarter, as opposed to the, they were averaging
6.5 yards on the ground in the second half, and we're averaging 12.3 yards per pass. Well, you can also say per pass completion, because he completed every pass in the second half. 12.3 yards per pass attempt. Yeah, that is moving.
Motivation, effort.
A plus. I would say an A plus. I'll give him the plus here. You didn't put any thought into anybody's mind once the game was over that Penn State had a chance in this game.
Yeah. Again, Spike says kind of looked like Penn State came out with more motivation, effort in the first half, and then we woke up. I don't agree. We talked about this earlier in the show. If we break up the game into like 10-minute chunks, Ohio State won 50 of those minutes, and Penn State won 10 of those minutes.
Yep.
I think that's really about it.
Execution. I think overall, the execution was there. I'm trying to think if there's anything negative I can really say. 8.7 yards per play against a really good defense. That's awesome. And then you held Penn State to 3.3 yards per play, which I think is pretty good too.
Yeah.
I'll say A. I can't really think of
when your
overall.
quarterback has more touchdowns than incompletions, your offense is executing at a high level. I think there were too many blocking mistakes for me to give them the plus.
Sure. Yeah.
And maybe some defensive mistakes in that devious 10 minutes.
Sure.
But
sometimes momentum is a thing too.
Sure.
All right. Discipline. 2 penalties, 30 yards. They were the kick catching interference by who was that did that?
Rogers, wasn't it?
It was Rogers, yes. And then you had the personal foul, which I think it should have been targeting on Caleb Downs.
I think they would have called that targeting last year. I'll say that.
That was not Rogers. At least according to the stat. I'd have to look. According to the stats here, it is not Rogers that.
Who was it?
That did that.
Who does the stat say it was?
Miles Lockhart.
Do they have the same number?
I am trying to quickly pull that up.
Because
what
I
number?
think
What number is Rogers? Is he? They are the same number.
Yeah,
13.
I think we're right and the stat sheet's wrong.
Okay, it might be. I'll have to look at it again, but either way, discipline overall.
Yeah, he got away with one. Did the Big Ten supposedly change the way they officiate targeting? That would come from the NCAA, not the conference. But yeah,
okay.
There were a couple changes made to the interpretation of targeting.
Yeah, so I'll say
I think
A.
it kind of saved downs there.
I'll say A minus. I'll say A minus like that. No, I'll stay with A.
Sure.
Special teams. Trying to pull this up real quick here. Special teams. 1 for 1 on field goals. Okay. Which still red zone. Still gotta iron out the red zone here. Still. Yeah. No flags on Iggy. Correct. 41 punt for 43 yards, which is fine, I guess. It was inside the 20, so sure. And no big blunders other than the kick catch interference, which will lower the special teams down to a B for me.
All the way for one penalty? Well, of course, they didn't really do. But then they also didn't do anything to elevate it either.
Yeah, they didn't do anything.
But
to
also,
elevate.
Our expectations are basically in the basement at this point.
Yeah, I'm supposed to say B.
I'm gonna say a B plus.
All right. Turnovers evened out 1-1.
No, they didn't. Timeout. No, they didn't.
Yeah, no, you're right.
The Ohio State turnover. I have all of the confidence in the world. I think Ohio State had 2 timeouts, almost 2 minutes. Ohio State's going to go down the field the way Sayin
could have been
was
a
playing in that
14
moment,
point turnaround.
That is a 14-point swing.
You're right.
And on top of that, as I mentioned before when we were talking about impact plays, Caleb Downs' interception came on 4th down. That only got them like 8 yards, or I don't know where Penn State was when they threw that interception. But it basically changed the field position a little bit from wherever it would have been inside the 20 to the 20 because it was a touchback. So
sure, yeah. So I don't know, like
C plus.
C. Yeah, I was thinking C.
Yeah,
I was thinking C minus, but we'll stick with a C. All right, and so overall offense, I'm going down the line here. I'm going to say A plus. Offensively, A plus.
Yeah. Considering the talent and the coaching that they were facing, yeah, I'm willing to go A plus here.
All right, and defense, I got a lot of A's there, so I'll stick with just an A.
I'm gonna drop it to an A minus. I think Penn State's offense is pretty bad. You aren't even getting, you're getting a quarterback with his second ever start. Katron Allen's amazing, but Singleton hasn't been the same guy that you would have expected him to be at the beginning of the season. They have no receivers. Their offensive line is fine. It's not anything special. I feel like Ohio State's defense could have done better here. So, it's only going to be an A minus because they were put on a short field right after being on the field for a really long drive just a moment before. That's a really tough turnaround. I'm not going to dog them too bad for that. So we are going to stay at like an A minus, but while Penn State's defense is really good, their offense is not. This is a game where they could have got a shutout and they gave up 14. I'll go A minus.
All right. And overall, 38-14 final score. A solid A. This was a. Have to try to see if I can pull it up real quick here. Pull up Winsipedia real quick here. What is this? I think this is the largest. Yeah, this is the largest win against Penn State since 2015, 10 years ago, when they won 38-10.
Yeah. Yeah, Penn State's better than this. I don't hate Penn State the way I hate Michigan, so I do kind of want Penn State to be good. So I do hope that they make a good hire.
Yeah, I mean, we always joke around that they're not a rival and all that, and they aren't. But I think the conference is better. The Big Ten is better when Penn State is good, and I hope they find the right coach that can get them back to where they back to winning games.
Yeah.
All right. That is it. That is our
not one of our coaches.
Yeah.
I think the idea that Brian Hartline is going to get a major job this offseason is wildly overblown. I don't think he has that experience yet. I think it would be a big reach for Penn State and for Brian Hartline. And you could also chalk that up to Miami, LSU, some of the other big jobs that are out there. I think that's a big reach for everyone involved. I think he's a year or two away from a job like that. No, but there's a lot of openings right now. It's a valid point. I mean, honestly, that's a valid point. Like, that many openings, that many more opportunities. I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm saying I don't think it's a good idea for anyone involved. I think he needs another year to bake at Ohio State before he takes on a top tier job like Penn State, Florida, LSU.
Mm-hmm.
Could he take a more middle job? Sure. I think we talked about Cincinnati or, a mid-tier Big Ten team. But yeah, I think it's a big, I don't think he's ready quite yet. Give it another year before I would personally advise he take a job like that. And that's for both parties involved. I just don't think I think he needs another year in the oven for that type of job.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else, Jared? Anything else before we wrap it up?
Nope. What's in Kyle's corner?
Couple booms. Couple of booms. Offensive line booms. We had one that start off
offensive line recruiting fixed?
Oh, maybe. We'll see. Well, tough. It definitely helps when you get two of them in a matter of 10 minutes. You have a 2027 in-state from St. Clairsville, Mason Wilt.
I know a little something about that school.
Yeah, and
only went there K-12.
Yeah, and then another 2027 commit as well from another in-state, from Liberty Center, Kellen Wimmer.
There you go. We love our in-state Ohio offensive linemen. Got to secure those guys. Got to lock them down.
Yeah.
Anything else in Kyle's corner?
I think that's it. I think that's all.
Well,
all I got.
What about hell?
Oh yeah, yeah. Hell is real. For nothing. Gotta keep that that same fight. That same fight against Cincinnati this Saturday at noon. Watch this game in the first half, and maybe just have that on while I'm watching the Ohio State Purdue game that starts off at not noon, but 1 o'clock.
Why? Have we gotten an explanation as to why it's kicking off at 1?
No, I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah. No, it just...
28 and a half points, Jared, spread is what it is.
For the life of me, cannot figure out why.
Yeah.
I don't understand why it makes sense.
28 and a half points.
By the way, Penn State has to turn around and play Indiana this week.
Yeah.
Where they are dogged by 14 and a half points currently.
I'm just glad this isn't a night game.
Yeah, no, yeah. You don't. That's one of our rules, right? Don't play night games in the Big Ten West, even though we have to.
In the former
the historic
Big Ten West. The historic, yeah.
Big Ten West. We have to amend that rule to say historic.
Yeah. All right, we are 10 minutes over, Jared. So I think we can go ahead and wrap that up.
Oh, but Kyle, I thought you said that 7 minutes at the top. All right. Yeah. Tonight's ending music. We're gonna go Defiance, Ohio, because why not? I like Defiance, Ohio. So with all that being said, I'd like to encourage everyone to drink local beer, listen to local music, and of course, support your local podcasters. Once again, this is Defiance, Ohio.